you're a seasoned gentleman, let's put it that way, but you seem to always have, between moments of existential gloom and severe self-loathing, you generally cultivate a fairly playful attitude. How important is it, on a personal level, to just have fun with life and enjoy what you're doing?
Well, I think it's really important, and actually, it occurred to me a while back that there have been periods of my life when I've actually had genuine depression. I think, like actual medical,
Same with me. 1000%. I mean, I've taken various meds.
Yeah, me too.
I'm clean. I'm off everything because I think actually the ability to sit in those dark moments and just realise that actually you're still alive, and that the voices are actually meant as a positive. Usually, it's not you against you.
Yeah.
And processing emotion, processing bad feeling, rather than just clouding it out with medication. I don't think that's helpful at all.
No, indeed. But I mean, I've had periods of actual genuine depression, but funnily enough, I always retained a sense of humour, even in the darkest moments. I'm not saying that to big myself up, like, oh, I'm so great, because, but I think having a very childish, immature sense of humour, I think, has actually saved me in many ways. Because even in the times when I've been most unhappy, I've usually found something to laugh about. And I think it's, as I say, I don't know whether it's something you could acquire if you don't have it. I think I've just been quite lucky.
Really
but
develop a sense of humour. It's just practice.
I think I've been quite lucky in that. It doesn't mean it didn't take away the, say you go through a breakup or you're in a situation where you're feeling a lot of emotional pain, a lot of emotional anguish. I've usually still had a sense of humour. I've been able to laugh at things. It doesn't take it all away, but it definitely helps to lighten things, and you can sort of, I guess it helps a little bit, right? It's like a soothing balm.
How important do you feel like having a sense of humour and being fun in interactions with women is like actually dynamite, or do you think it's not that important?
I mean, I think it's super important, because I think they want to feel good emotions, they want to have fun, as the old song goes. I think I don't really. I guess guys can do it without, but I don't really know how they're doing it, if that makes sense. I mean, if you're showcasing a ton of value and you just rock up and you haven't got much of a sense of humour, maybe that can work for certain types of guys under certain circumstances. But for me, I think the shortcut, really, particularly like if we go out tonight, we go to a club, having that sense of humour, having that playfulness, I think kind of is essential, really. I don't know how you get around it. Can you do it without?
You get that kind of 2D alpha, don't you, that but is he actually getting laid? I don't know. I think it showcases a lack of neediness, and I think a lack of neediness is the key to the kingdom. As soon as women sense neediness, that you just need her, rather than wanting her, you're screwed. And I think what sense of humour does is it shows, just having fun shows you don't really care too much. And it's just a better way to live life, isn't it? If we are, guys watching this will probably resonate. I mean, I can speak for myself that I say I am prone naturally to see the glass half empty. Growing up, had many problems with kind of depressive episodes and negativity and rumination and the world is shit and all this, and it's all self-generated, and I know myself, and I know that's kind of the default state I will sit in if I don't take a conscious effort to really have fun and be playful. So I think it's just important on a personal level, first and foremost, for my own mental health, and then it manifests itself as the kind of energy people want to be around anyway. Yeah,
I think I've always had a bit of both, right? Because I've definitely had the glass is half empty kind of thing. I mean, massively. I mean, the glass there's nothing in the glass, let alone the glass is smashed on the floor, So I've definitely got that. But I've also, funnily enough, always had the sort of humour, and I think it comes from my parents, because my dad has actually got quite a childish, fun sense of humour, and my mum suffered from situations of depression, and also there is, on that side of the family, there's some history of that. So I think it's been a combination of those two things mashed together. Like my dad, for ages, we used to go to this Indian restaurant, it's where he lives, and they give away these little chocolates, these little chocolates with foil on them at the end of the meal, and he would always make us put them in our eyes, and then he'd take a photograph of us every time wearing different outfits, and it's kind of stupid, but that's the kind of thing that he thinks is he thinks is funny. I think I've sort of inherited that, if that makes sense.
Yes, and just to add, I was thinking about this as you were talking. It's no coincidence that the SAS, regarded as some of the finest soldiers in the world, one of their key tenets is sense of humour. They have to have, as one of their ethical pillars, a sense of humour, right? Because when the shit's going down, and your mate's sitting next to you just had their arm blown off, you can either cry about it and the mission goes shit, or you laugh about it and get on with things. Maintaining that positive frame of mind, emotion.
And you probably need that in dating and game as well, don't you?
Because massively, because there's a lot of we're inherently playing a game of rejection. Let's be honest, we're all, as human beings, massively ego invested at times, and you almost have to have this zen, like, detached, playful attitude to it all. Like, it's all a bit of an experiment. None of it matters too much.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it can really fuck with your head, quite frankly.
Yeah, definitely, which can be hard, because particularly, like, I was talking to a client earlier, and he was very upset because he'd got on a date with this one girl and then it hadn't materialised to anything, and I appreciate that, I understand that. I don't get those feelings so much these days, because I suppose I've got a certain amount of abundance, and also I just frankly kind of care a bit less, about an individual girl, if it works out with her or not. But
you realise, don't you, after a while, although we need women, and there's a lot of beauty to women and the feminine energy, that they're never going to complete you as a person. You'll date your own demons are your demons, and you can kind of mask it with dating. But after a few hundred bangs, you kind of realise, okay, this isn't going away. I can kind of do it, but I've got to kind of look deeper, almost.
Yeah, definitely. But I was just going to say that I think having a sense of humour to ride through those lows that you're inevitably going to get is essential. Really, you've got to see the funny side of stuff, and why not? Because we're all going to end up in the old wooden box soon enough anyway. So you might as well have a good time while you're here, and just sort of try to make light of it. I don't think that, for me, the two things have always been intertwined. I've always had the sort of the glass half empty side of my character, but I've also always had that sort of stupid sense of humour. And I mean, I'm not recommending anybody tries to emulate my characteristics, but it seems to have balanced itself out quite well for the most part.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yes.
So be more playful is the takeaway from this. And if you need help with being more playful, drop us an email, info@jamestusk or troy@realtroyfrancis.com. We'll jump on a consultation call with you, map out where exactly you are, the brutal reality of it, and exactly where you want to go, that hero's journey, and how we can help you get there as efficiently and painlessly as possible, saving you your most valuable asset, which is, of course, time that you never get back. So
it probably, just in summary, it probably is worth mentioning that actually, apart from not approaching at all, which is the biggest problem that guys have, one of the second business.
That is the biggest.
I think it is still the biggest, because most guys just aren't doing it. But then the second thing is approaching, but being too serious and also being too nice. And I think bringing the humour into it and the jocularity into it would help you. So if you're not getting the results that you want, but you are actually approaching, it may well be to do with that. So get in touch and we'll give you a hand.
I think that's a really good point, and we're just adding on to this video. But I completely agree. I think first step is miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you're not actually willing to even just go and open your mouth to a random girl you find attractive, you've got nothing to start with. After that, I think you're completely right. It's being too serious and not being playful. Yeah. And then the third stage is actually not sexualizing what you want. Yeah. Not reconnecting with the fact that it's okay to want to have sex with women. It's okay as a man to enjoy sex, to want to have a satisfying sex life. And it's actually the most natural thing you can do, and almost reconnecting with that masculinity and that kind of sexual mindset. And forgetting the societal narrative that you've been raised on about, sex is bad, as men you shouldn't pursue sex. It's complete bullshit. So when you have those three things in play, you can do a lot of damage, can't you?
Absolutely. Anyway, drop us an email, info@jamestusk.com, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.